once more. Welcome to TLC, Transforming Lives Continually. I am Sean Devines Daniel, and in set with me is Executive Director of TLC, Mr. Michael Stewart. Today we're discussing men are hunters, and we will seek to explore that. So let's welcome Mr. Michael Stewart. Michael, it's always a pleasure having you with us.
Pleasure being here too.
Yes. So we're talking about men are hunters, and we spoke a little bit about that in a previous program.
Yes.
So we're seeking to explore it more. You know?
And we want to explain how come, as hunters, how that translates in how we operate in everyday life.
Right. Not just relationships with a man and a woman, but everyday life.
Right.
Okay.
In the book of Psalms, the Bible says, I will praise you, O God, because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. What we want men to understand and appreciate, especially as we come up to Father's Day, is to appreciate the fact that they are men. Yes. God made us that way, and He structured us in a certain way to be able to carry out the roles and responsibilities that we have. So our build, our thinking, and our ways of operating would have been catering towards operating in such a way. And one of the major aspects of us as men is our ability to hunt. And women are nurturers, men are hunters. And so God has therefore wonderfully made us as very good hunters. If we understand that, then we could understand how come that we end up doing some of the things that we do, liking some of the things that we like, etc.
Okay. I was reading somewhere where they said men are hunters, women are gatherers.
That's right.
And nurturers.
That's right.
So the last time we spoke about men being hunters, we spoke about that in relationships. The single man looking for a mate, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, where, you know, today most women are liberated and they may find, and maybe sometimes a bit aggressive. Do you think a man like being pursued by a woman? Well,
we adore the fact that we are admired. Especially if we are a bit middle-aged and getting older, it brings us back into a youthful kind of feeling. So we like that. But it sort of humbugs our ability to feel as though we earned this relationship.
Right.
Because one of the things that a man wants to do is to feel as though he earned it. And that is part of the hunting skill in him. The game that runs away, that he pursues, captures, subdue, is a game that he wants to come to his partners and boast about. The fish that is the largest, that fought the most, is the fish that he wants to boast about, even if he never caught it.
Right.
That he would talk about how big the fish was that he got on the hook, but he didn't able to land
it. The one that got away.
The one that got away. So, and then the Bible says that he that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes.
We are talking about that a man likes to find his wife, like to be able to go after her and locate her and find that good thing.
Yeah. Some women were saying, if you see a gentleman and you like him, and he's not making that first move, he's not approaching you, but you like him, you want to get to know him, is it okay for us to send signals that we are interested? Is that okay as a woman?
Right. As the initiator of it, and this is really debatable because there's no right or wrong, but of course I have my own bias with it. Because again, as the pursuer, the man is a pursuer, he's a hunter. One would think that he would leave the initial indication of the man, of the relationship, to the man. Because when you leave it up to the man, what that does is that the man feels as though he initiated it, he feels as though he's part of it. If it is started by the woman, whether or not he was interested in her, it is highly likely that he will also be responding to her. So she has no idea whether it is that he genuinely likes her because of his male ego. He just has accepted her. But if he initiates it, he also may not like her, but just like the idea of throwing out his net. But he has a better chance in himself to be able to recognize and say, listen, this is a lady that I liked and I pursued. So I always say that let the initiation start, but let the woman be subtle in her recognition or signal that she's available. Right? So it must be tempered with that.
Right. So Michael, let's talk about man as hunter, a definition as man as hunter.
Right. Because God knew that we would have been hunting and women would have been gathering. He made men with certain physical and the personal features that would have caused him to be properly positioned for that, and so a woman. So therefore, when a man is a hunter, there are a number of skills that he has. Number one, men are hunters, and God made us in the way so that we can be able to appropriately execute our responsibility as hunters. So one of the things in hunting, you must be able to navigate, because you go out there to hunt, you're in uncharted territory.
Right.
You must be able to go out there and find your way back. Now, this is why the psychologists say men have a better understanding and orientation of space and environment and location than women do. So you'll find that a man, in trying to locate, a woman would go, she'll shop. But to find a way back in a strange territory, she would be lost.
Disoriented.
She's disoriented. But a man, once he finds his way out, he can find his way back.
Okay.
So in a ball game, if you have a ball game with thousands of people, he can leave, go for popcorn, and locate his seat back. It is more difficult for a woman to locate it in the thousands. If she parks a car in the in the car park, where you have a large car park, once he knows where his car is parked, he can be able to navigate. And because God built him so fearfully and wonderfully with that ability and that skill to navigate and to move around himself, what that does is also give him a better idea of space, how to occupy space and the size of space, that he can look at a space and be able to tell. He parks better, therefore. This is why they say that if a man has to park a car between two vehicles, it takes him a shorter period of time to be able to park it, where a woman would go back and forth a number of times in order to do it, because the orientation of space. This is why also they say that men therefore choose skills and careers leading up to things that help them to operate with space and navigation and so on. Most pilots are going to be men. Navigation. You'll find that engineering and things that require you to understand space and so on, and measurement, men would move towards that. Even our sport, football, having to be able to run down a ball and be able to put a ball between two people and to aim it at a goal post, men would love that type of sport.
And we are not saying that women are not able to do those things.
No. We are not.
We are not saying that. We're just putting it out there. We are not saying that. Right.
But we are saying that they are better adapted to it.
Yeah.
Yes?
Because it's in them.
It's in them. So we could understand now why he plays some of the games he plays. Because again, he's a hunter. You don't need words in hunting.
Right.
So you go out there with a group of men to hunt. You really operate in signals.
Silence.
You need silence, and you signal. So you signal to the person, bend down, quiet, here, and so on. This is why All Fours is such a nice game for men.
I could just imagine a group of women going out to hunt. I'm just thinking of the conversation. The conversation. We're going to talk about so many things, So that makes a lot of sense.
Yes. Yeah. So All Fours becomes a game that men would like, because it is one of signals and so on, and strategy and tactics and so on. Whereas women are into the finer, more finesse types of things. That she would rather go to the movies, and the movie she would select would be a movie on romance and personalities and relationships and so on. But that's a bit slow and boring for men. And so that's why we will go to the movie and we'll sleep, because it's just not engaging.
Yes.
You see? So if we understand as hunters how we operate, then we could understand how we also fit into life in its general sense.
It's amazing that you would say that, because a friend of mine told me that she and her boyfriend went to the movies, but there was some mix-up at the box office and they got 2 tickets, different movies or something like that. She wanted to watch something dealing with relationships. He wanted to watch something with war or something.
Yes.
And he said, okay, I will come with you. About 5 minutes into the movie, he's like, I can't watch this, I can't watch this. She's upset
It's
because
really
he wants
too
to
slow.
leave. It is too slow. He's frustrated,
Yes.
you know. So
And he doesn't use any of his skills, any of his hunting
Exactly,
skills.
yes,
But
yeah.
a woman, it is using her nurturing skills,
Yes,
her gathering
yes.
skills, relationships. So she watching those relationships developing and so on. Once the movie has children in it, the movie has love in it,
Yes.
affection and
Romance.
passion and so on. And she wants to know, why is it he can't just sit and watch the television? Because it's not our thing. It's the same way how sometimes a woman can't take on all the violence
oh yeah.
in the
Even
game.
wrestling, I don't get it. I
Yeah.
don't get it. And my husband would be, there's a certain noise and he excited and he laughing. I can't get the wrestling thing because
Yes.
I find it so violent. you know.
Conquer, pursue, subdue.
Yes, I could see that.
So that animal in us
Yes.
comes out very,
He
very
could
strongly.
relate to that.
Yes, you get.
So I will be watching Lifetime and my husband can't relate to those stories.
Yes.
You know, he's, what kind of foolishness is this you're watching? But when he's watching wrestling or he's watching football or cricket, sometimes you wonder if there are 5 other guys in the room with him because he's excited and you can hear the noise and
Yes,
you
yes,
know,
he's locked in.
he is locked in.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
And that ability to focus so strongly is what is going to be the difference between him coming back home from the hunt without food or with food.
Oh.
He cannot afford to be distracted when he has an animal in his sight and he has to shoot that thing, whether it is with an arrow or whether it is some trap that he has set. He needs to be so focused. Any movement that distracts him is going to cause the game to go to escape. So that hesitation, and so we are so focused on things that it is possible to not even hear other things and see other things except what we are focusing on.
And like you said that, because what about a man that is so engulfed in his career? Could he be so focused that it will affect his relationship with his wife and children?
Yes, he can, because he can now become so off balance that he sees nothing else.
Right.
And he can be watching a television show of a ball game or cricket or what have you, and become so focused that his wife is speaking with him and he doesn't hear. The children may be trying to get his attention, he doesn't hear. His hearing is shut down.
Okay.
So,
yes.
So who was it that sung the song, He Make Attack Back?
I have no
Right,
idea.
you have no. But that song, He Made Attack Back, he was saying that he was in the midst of having sex with this married woman, and the husband came back in and he said he never heard the door open.
Okay.
Because your hearing goes, you're
Right,
so focused
right,
into it that he can say things while having sex and not even remember what he said.
Right.
You see? Because
And
of
that's
the
dangerous
focus.
too. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of women would say, but he said he loved me then. But that was in the moment.
In the hunt.
In the hunt. Like, in the hunt.
Yes.
I was even reading this article too about women who are doing online dating.
Yes.
And they get so caught up in what the men saying that they're really not looking at what the men saying because they are thinking relationship, marriage. The
Yeah.
man is saying that I just want to be friends.
Yes.
And okay, they might go out to this person, they're not reading between the lines. He said, I just want to be friends. I'm not looking for a long-term relationship, you know. When they get into the relationship, the man said, but I just wanted to be friends. But the moment I have fun with you, I like you and all that, but they're looking for more.
Yeah.
So he is hunting, but still would you say he's hunting, but not for a wife.
Yes.
But he's still hunting, right?
That's right. So sometimes you hunt for food, sometimes you hunt for game, just as a play.
Right.
So what you shoot, you didn't really plan to eat.
I like that. I
Really?
like that. And that is reality.
That's why we're saying if we
Yeah.
understand the hunt, we can now translate it in how we operate.
So there are different types of hunters.
Sport hunting.
Okay. There are different types of
Yes,
hunters.
there are different
right.
types of hunters. There are different types of things you're hunting for. You see, so you'll find that a man would be classified or labeled as a certain type of a hunter based on the personality that he wants to take on himself at a particular point in time.
Interesting. What advice would you give to women what should we look for? Because this sounds quite scary. It sounds scary. You know, it seems as if we are out there. And we need to get some tips. Michael, you know, you always have some tips to keep us on our toes. Guys, don't be mad at him. He's just helping everybody out. What do you suggest to them to look out for?
If we accept him as a hunter and try to understand him, we are able to better deal with him. So, for example, one of the things that women complain about is that, and even last night I was in a counseling session with two couples actually. One married 7 months, the other one married 2 years. And one of the things that the men kept complaining about is that they would come home and their wives are down on them, that they want them to come and help with the baby, come and help in the kitchen and so on. And they need unwinding time. That came back from the hunting. When the man came from hunting, the women would have been the gatherers.
Yes.
They would have gathered the sticks, gathered the fire, gathered the things to prepare for the meal that he has brought. The men would sit around the fire as the fire flickered and just converse and recount the hunt. They'll talk about things that happened in the village that while they were out and so on. So they come in to do nothing because they are tired from the hunt. And so over the generations, we have genetic memory where we have now continued to operate in that way, that when we come back from work, the hunt in work, we are now home, we take time to unwind. That fire that flickered may have been our television in those days. The fire that and the remote that kept there and the conversation that went there would have been that pastime that we would have think. Now the women accepted that because they knew after a hard day he is going to unwind.
But don't you think, Michael, there's some conflict today with that? Because yes, the man is still the hunter, but the woman will say, well, I hunted too, because I am also bringing home the bacon. I am making more money than him. How would that interfere with this man hunt, you know, as a hunter?
So if we lose our roles, that the man is the hunter, the woman is the nurturer and gatherer, and she wants to move from nurturer and gatherer to nurture, gatherer, and hunter, she has to determine which one is priority.
Right.
If the man has anything that makes his ability to hunt compromised, he has to now reassess what he's doing. If the woman does anything, allows anything to compromise her skill and her responsibility to nurture and gather, she needs to now reassess and find out what is priority.
Right.
So if therefore she is unable to juggle the career and her nurturing, she needs to make a judgment call. And I remember there's a particular lady who is a doctor, qualified medical doctor, who is a stay-home wife, a stay-home mother, stay-home wife. She said,
a domestic engineer.
Domestic engineer. She said she decided to do that because it was conflicting. She was making quite a bit of money, she was successful, but she saw her role as nurturer and the gatherer as priority. And being a medical doctor was now compromising that responsibility, and she willingly gave it up.
Yes.
Right? So, but however, there are some times that women figure that the career is priority at the expense of the children, the home, the family. And that is something that people need to discuss and work out. So a man is a hunter, and he needs to, therefore, there is a certain pattern in which he hunts. He hunts, comes home, he rests before he goes and does anything else.
Right. So we're getting in the wind-up signal. One more tip before.
Well, one more is that the man in his hunting, the way God made him fearfully and wonderfully, his eyesight, he is tunnel vision. So he's long range. He can be able to see things at a distance because of the way how he is. He's not very close range, so things that are close to him, he tends to miss. But he can see things down the road. And that's why they're also saying that, particularly with men, driving is a thing that a man becomes almost natural in driving. But a woman, close range, because she was the gatherer and nurturer and looking for the children and so on, things close up she's able to find. That's why when he's looking for his socks, he cannot find it.
Yes.
It's closed.
Yes.
He will go into the cupboard and he cannot locate.
And it's right there.
It's right there. And he will call her from where she is. She might be in Trinidad, she might be in the States, she might be somewhere.
And it's very irritating.
Where did you put so and so? And if she's at home, she can come to the drawer, open the drawer, and says, look at there, why don't you like to look? And that's because her eyes are peripheral vision. Right. So she sees in a wide and narrow space. And so she's able to now pick up those details. A woman would recognize that a man's collar is not fixed properly, or his tie is not fixed properly. She's very detailed. A man would not notice that.
Yes. Or he would leave home with his shirt turned inside out.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
You see? So if we understand that whole hunting skill, and that target, that ability to focus long distance to be able to target, he needs to see the threat way off before he comes too close. And so he's built for that.
Great. So long and short, a man is a hunter.
A man is a hunter, and he's fearfully and wonderfully made.
Amen. Amen. Well, Michael, so it has been really great having you. It's been interesting, you know, and I know a lot of people out there now understanding at least their role as man, and woman understanding her role as a woman. So men are hunters, women are gatherers, and
they are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Wonderful, exciting topic. Michael, how could people get in touch with you?
You can email us at michaelatstelc@gmail.com or telephone our office at 635-1801. And of course, we do private counseling and we do group sessions for your youth group, your organization, your team. We'll be more than happy to do it.
Thank you so much for viewing TLC. Again, I am Sean Devines Daniel. May God richly bless you, and I hope that the programs that you have seen really touch your heart and change your lives. Please contact us at the numbers that Mr. Stewart have provided and let us know how you feel about the program and even what topics you would like us to discuss. So God bless you. Bye-bye.